Now we're going to demonstrate how to properly mix the paint for shooting. This is in particular EkoCrylic, but the same exact procedure applies to EkoPoly and EkoCrylic. It makes no difference. The catalyst is actually the same for both paints. So, if you had some EkoCrylic catalyst and you need to mix EkoPoly, it's fine. It doesn't make any difference. We used to label them separate, but now we don't. It says both products on the catalyst. We have our EkoCrylic here. This case is Cub Yellow. I've already stirred this all up really good. Make sure you do that. We're going to put our mixing cup on the scale, and we're going to power on the scale. And it's zeroed out. It's in ounces. Make sure you turn it to grams. Okay, we're in grams. We're going to do 200 grams today just for an example. Okay, there we go. And we're at 203. If you're off just a fuzz, it's not going to matter. It's just want it to be as close as possible. Now we've got our catalyst here. I do want to say that ours is by far the safest waterborne polyurethane in the industry. But no matter what, when you're working with chemicals, do respect them and take safety precautions. Try to avoid getting the catalyst on your skin. We'd want to limit exposure to it as much as possible, just to be on the safe side. The ratio that we're looking for here is 4:1. So we have 200 grams of paint. So we want to multiply that by 25%, which is going to give us 50, which is our catalyst. So we're going to use 50 grams of catalyst. We're going to hit the tare button on the scale so we're back to 0. Also, avoid having the catalyst open any longer than you need to. Exposure to the air will eventually make it go bad. So if you're going to use little bits of it at a time, keep it sealed up tight. And we're looking for 50 grams. Probably goes without saying, but once you've stirred the catalyzed mixture, don't put the stir back in your paint can. It'll be a brick in a few days. One thing I want to emphasize when mixing the paint is be sure to mix the catalyst and the Part A paint together thoroughly and give it 10 minutes or so induction time, and then come back and add the water. If you add the water and the catalyst at the same time before mixing it, it may neutralize the catalyst somewhat and it may not cure out properly. You may find that it remains a little bit tacky forever. Once the paint and catalyst mixture is stirred up, you can set that aside. Take a separate cup, set on the scale, and hit the tare button to 0. The reason that we weigh the water out in a separate cup is if you were weighing it directly into the paint and you got a little bit over, well, you can't take it back out. So if you get over in here, we can dump a little bit out and redo it. As far as water, this is purified drinking water. You can use that. You can use reverse osmosis or distilled water. Don't use regular tap water. There's too many impurities in that. We're going to use the same amount of water approximately that we used for catalyst, which was 50 grams in this case. So we're going to start with 40 grams, and then we're going to check our viscosity. Okay, 40 grams. And we're going to dump that right into our paint. And again, we're going to mix that thoroughly. One of the reasons a waterborne polyurethane is safer than a solvent-borne is that the catalyst is hygroscopic, so it's seeking water, which our bodies are mostly water, so it really wants to get into our bodies and it doesn't want to come out. So the catalyst that we have is much safer. It's actually encapsulated and packaged in water. And when we put it in the mix, the water breaks down the encapsulation and the catalyst is fully satisfied with water. It's fully saturated. It can't take on any more water. So once it's in the mixture, it's far safer than it is in the raw form. It's still very safe in the raw form because it's encapsulated and packaged in water, but handle it with care and avoid getting it on your skin. Once we've got the paint mixed, we want to allow it about 10 minutes of induction time, and the viscosity will change a little bit in that time. After 10 minutes we can check it and be accurate. We'll set this aside. This is the viscosity cup that we sell. If you bought one a while ago, it may be plastic, that's fine as well. This is a Ford number 4. Way back we used to sell a DuPont M50. The M50 was very close to the Ford number 4 that we use now. It was about 1 second difference. Make sure you get the viscosity cup from us, or at least get the exact one that we're using. Any Ford number 4 is not necessarily going to be the same. You would think they would be, but they're not. We've had customers call in with other Ford number 4s that test drastically different than ours with our products. To test the viscosity, we're just going to drop this viscosity cup down into the paint, and we want to get it completely full of paint. Now we take our stopwatch, and as we pull this up, we're going to start our stopwatch. And you'll see a steady stream coming out of the paint cup. When that stream breaks into droplets, that's when we want to hit our stopwatch. And with this cup, what you're looking for is between 22 and 24 seconds. I would say, especially if you're a beginner, keep it on the 24-second side of it. And right there, it broke into droplets. We're at 23.84, so we're right on the money. That's where we want to be. So that's why it's important to put a little bit less water in initially. If you wanted to get down towards the 22-second, we'd probably add most of that 10 grams of water in there that we left out. So it just depends on your personal preference exactly where you want it. But again, it'll flow out very nice at 24 seconds, and it'll be less likely to run on you. It covers a little bit better. So I like to have it a little bit on the heavier side. When you get more experienced with it, you might get a little bit less texture, a little bit less orange peel by getting a little bit thinner, but definitely don't go below 22.